This is my all black Phantom gaming PC, and in this video, I'm kinda going to be showing it off. It's a mid-range build like I said, which means it features parts which were all in the middle in their respective groups in terms of price and performance, and it's perfect for me since it offers me more than enough gaming capabilities without being outrageously expensive. Inside, I'm rocking the RTX 3060 Ti paired with the Ryzen 5 5600X on an MSI B550 Gaming Pro motherboard. A year ago, these components would not be considered mid-range in terms of the price. They would definitely still be considered high-end, even though they really only offered mid-range performance for the time. However, this build is mid-range in price. It's only around $1,000 to $1,200, and it's also mid-range in performance. So it balances those two very well. Aside from my main components, my Ryzen processor is liquid cooled with a 240mm AIO from EK, and the case I'm using is the Antec P120 Crystal. All other specs will be listed in the description, so you guys can take a look down there if you are interested. First things first, I do want to get this out of the way before we continue. I know a lot of you guys probably watching, when you heard me mention the Ryzen 5 5600X, you started shaking your head. And that's because the Ryzen 7 series is now out, making this CPU and motherboard obsolete. But when I purchased these components, which was this summer around that time, this CPU was on sale for under $200. And it just felt like the right pickup for me in terms of, like I said before, balancing price and performance. It offered what I needed in terms of CPU power and performance with multi-thread processing without going over the budget that I had made up. Unlike my decision to buy the Ryzen 5 5600X, my decision to pair it with the RTX 3060 Ti was a very good idea because those two complement each other very well. In the gaming performance, I'm able to run pretty much any game I want, high settings at 1440p, and that's because I have my 1440p monitor right here. Obviously, I could lower the settings a bit more and get even more performance, but all I really need is around 100 frames per second in most of the non-competitive titles that I play. Stuff like Valorant, CSGO, Apex Legends, I'll lower the resolutions on that so I can get the max frame rate and max performance in terms of latency. Here are a few gameplay statistics that'll pop up on the screen right now. I'm not gonna go super in depth into all of this because I did already do a sort of mini review on the RTX 3060 Ti, and I'm sure everybody who's watching this video already knows all about it. Same with the Ryzen 5 5600X. Like I said, you can play most games at 1440p high settings. Now that we're done with the internals, let's take a step back and actually just take in this build and the case. I really love this case from Antec. They did send it over to me a while back to do a build in, and I finally really been able to present it in the proper manner in this build and in this video. I think it looks really clean. Also, the power supply extension cords that I decided to use with this build are also black, and everything being the same color really looks good to me. It makes everything really seamless. There's not really any RGB in this build aside from on my motherboard, and I like to keep it that way. Some people like to show off their computer in a flashy way, but I'd rather have it be really sleek and minimal. Not really draw too much attention, but enough where you kind of have to look at it a little bit more to see what components are inside. Also, I don't really like hurting my eyes with all the RGB stuff. Functionally, this case is also really nice with the power supply above my motherboard, which gives a lot more airflow to my GPU and in turn my CPU with the water cooling that I have in the radiator. So all of my temps in terms of my GPU and CPU, my GPU usually runs around 60C at most, and my CPU is around 60 to 65 at most when I'm playing games. Stress tests might be different, but in my opinion, that's kind of an unrealistic benchmark considering that nobody is going to be pushing all of their components to the max. Gaming is usually what I like to look at in terms of temps. So if you're looking at my build for some inspiration, now is the best time to go out and buy components for your next build. Doesn't matter which price range you are in, low, medium, or high, there's gonna be components that you can buy that are all gonna be feature packed and offer you a lot of performance in your respective price ranges. If you're in the same price range as me, around the $1,000 mark, you can obviously pick up the 3060 Ti. maybe even the 3070. If you're going the AMD route, you can pick up the 6700 or 6600 XT. Really depends on how much you're willing to spend. And for your processor, you can probably easily find something in the Ryzen 7 series lineup, as well as the Intel 12th gen lineup, something like the 12400 or even higher than that. Alright everyone, that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I know I've been away for a while, but I plan to come back and start uploading more frequently. More PC builds, more PC component overviews, reviews, and more tutorials on how to do things with your computer. Thank you all so much for watching. I am Nate with Hardwired Review, and if you did enjoy this video, you know what to do: like, subscribe, comment, and I will catch you in the next one. Also, reminder, everything I mentioned in this video will be linked down below so you can check it out. Peace out, guys.